Want to learn some psychology? Tough, you're going to. If you struggle with the blues, you might find that you go into a bit of a blue state, this hypo-aroused state, this shutdown state, where it's really similar to when you're sick and your brain goes, you know what, we need to recuperate, so I'm going to give you motivation to do nothing. And into your feelings this state goes, and you're motivated to not do very much. And a lot of the things that you previously did, you stop doing because your brain goes, well, what's the point? I don't think I'd even really like to do it anyway. Now this state, these feelings that you have, you can't necessarily trust. So a lot of the time when we work with people who struggle with their mood, one of our catchphrases is, go with the plan, not the feelings. Because we're basically saying, in this state, your brain won't want to do very much, but after a while, that's not very good for you. And I say after a while because there's plenty of times where people say, I am not leaving the house today, I'm going to watch cheesy Christmas films, I'm going to be cozy. And that's not necessarily bad for you, it might be very good for you. The problem is when it goes on too long and it starts impacting your quality of life. That is when we start thinking, can I really trust this feeling? And if that's true, then it is about setting aside the idea of doing something and feeling better immediately. We are a complex species, and if things were that simple, it would be that simple. But it's not, so it's not. If you let go of the idea of doing something and you need to feel better immediately in order to know that it's working, that is kind of a losing game if we follow this logic. But what can be really helpful is engaging in the idea of being the looker after of yourself, not the looker after E. So you do the things that you know generally make you feel good in life, even if you don't feel like they're making you feel good, you go through the motions. And this is a trust the process kind of thing. So if it's getting out, going for a walk, getting out of the house, hanging out with pals, you don't expect to feel magically great from it. What you are doing is potentially hedging your bets that maybe over time you're going to start to feel better. And that idea of sitting in the role of being the person who looks after you whilst you're not feeling good can be very helpful in doing that. Just something to think about.